in 2019, when Epstein was initially arrested, the FBI opened up a tip line. And the tip line was for anybody with any type of information on Epstein, his co-conspirators, if you were a young woman who was there, because the Epstein network was so vast that when the FBI arrested Epstein, for the most part, they thought they didn't even uncover 1% of the iceberg. So this tip line was opened up. Now, this tip line had a lot of accusations coming through. Unfortunately for Jay-Z and Pusha T, they both had allegations about themselves come through the tip line. In a case,
Trap Files, we had Big Head Reach just speaking facts, man. Day one passed. Everybody been talking crazy about Jay-Z and Pusha T being in the Epstein files. Shout out to Poeta Flacco for the video. I'm just here to, give y'all my reaction. Let's check it out.
case of Jay-Z, he's beyond cooked in the eyes of public perception because the victim came forward July 10th, 2019, 8:20 a.m. Eastern. On July 10th, 2019 at 8:20 a.m. Eastern, the particular victim called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to identify herself as a victim of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein and others.
Damn, so somebody called the feds on hold back in 2019. Dang.
Now, they provided the following information. So this essentially is like a transcript of what they provided. So they said in approximately 1994, listen, man, there's a bunch of redaction. I'm assuming is victim names, etc., etc. So this got redacted, but she revealed herself to blank, which I'm assuming is like the call center employee that answered this call, as a past victim of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein. She described the abuse occurred during parties. Now, we all know, a bunch of these abuse did happen at these parties, right? I think Jeffrey Epstein was known to throw these really like wild parties that had these like wild massages. I think like in like the first little piece of Epstein files that kind of got released like a couple years ago, we heard.
My question is like, do rich people just party different? Like they parties, because when you got regular people parties, they drink, they smoke, they do drugs too. Nobody don't report it. Nobody don't, call the cops the next day or say things happen. Poor people be like, I had a good time. It was lit. So I don't know. Like, what's the rules when you rich, man? Can you just not party? You can't party now? Like, I don't know.
Like they were like midgets there, like they were like really, 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 really tiny people, like 4'9" midgets, and like people indulged in that. Like it was
midgets.
Jeffrey Epstein apparently provided you with whatever your speed was. If your speed was dwarfs, he would provide you with dwarfs. Okay, that's what went down at these parties. Okay, so yeah, so apparently she was brought to parties, and she was the party favor for a bunch of weirdos and creeps. Redactions right here are very suspicious.
He could get you dwarfs. Like Epstein had connects. I see, huh? Even in death, he still got connections to people. We going 2026 is gonna be crazy.
So this is like the victim's name. Further identified blank as a friend of blank. I'm assuming blank and blank are not minors. Blank and blank are people in high position of power. So she will claim that in approximately 1996, which is about 2 years after this whole nonsense began to happen, where she was being used as party favors at Epstein. Apparently, she resided with blank, which is I'm assuming like one of her like perpetrators in blank state. An unknown man abducted her from her home when she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, Jay-Z. So she apparently lived at this residence with somebody I'm assuming is also a perpetrator, and they kidnapped her. They abducted her from that home, and she woke up to the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Jay-Z.
This is the first time I heard about a case where her whole name ain't blacked out. It might be something. She might got something. She might got a case.
While Weinstein apparently had his fingers into, we can probably guess where he had his finger into. Right? Now, she believed that she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida.
That's crazy.
Now, she estimated she was abducted on 7 occasions. Now, hold on, man. 7? Awakened each time in an opulent indoor setting. She suffered from abuse on multiple of those occasions in which Epstein participated. She recalled that Leon Black and William Barr.
I'm time out. I thought you only get abducted one time. I ain't know you get abducted 7 times. How somebody get abducted 7 times? Never called the cops. Never talked to the law. Nothing. 7 times? Nah, I don't know about that.
Curry, United States Attorney General, being present during some of the occasion of abuse. In approximately 2006, she last recalled being abused by Epstein. Now, okay, so this started in 1994 and lasted to about 2006. I'm assuming at some point here she stopped being a minor, right? Yeah, like I'm assuming. Let's just say what she was 14 in 1994. That would mean by 1998 she became 18, and this lasted until 2006. Now I'm not
7 years.
questioning, whatever she went through as a minor. If she's being truthful about
Seven
what
years
happened here,
as a
is very
grown up.
unfortunate. But for this to last until 2006, like there's something very wrong with that picture from my perspective, to be honest. From her story, she didn't really list anything that Jay Z did specifically, but she did say that Harvey Weinstein.
They never list what Hove do. It's Hove. I get away with the hoes. I mean, like he'll never get caught up. So I guess he had it. You get charged, but not guilty. His man booked accounts, but he ain't. So they book him.
Digitally penetrate her, but Jay Z didn't, penetrate her. Jay Z was just present, which to me is just as bad, right? Like, if this alleged minor was abducted from her home, brought to an Epstein mansion, and it was you, Harvey Weinstein, and Epstein there, and this minor was enduring abuse in your presence, to me, you are just as guilty
Yeah.
as whoever is doing the abuse. I don't
Yeah.
distinguish the difference between the
I
two.
agree.
Whoever is there is just as guilty and equally as guilty. But again, this is just a tip. Right now, however this tip was investigated, no charges were ever brought.
Rules, commands, MCP
That
servers,
be the thing about
subagents.
these dudes. Charges don't be being brought up. Like, nah.
Right, like as far as I know, Jay Z was never brought for a subpoena, a deposition, nothing. And this particular tip didn't go anywhere. But because the tip came in by Epstein, it was included in the Epstein files. Fortunately for Pusha T, we can't say the same because she did list things that Pusha T did specifically. Now, it will continue and it will state on each occasion she believed she was drugged, clouded her memory. She attributed the drugging as frequently performed by persons assigned as handlers. Now, one of the handlers she would say will be Pusha T, because at the time, I would say Pusha T don't really belong in those rooms. Pusha T was not a superstar. He was not a megastar. He wasn't somebody
He
of
was
importance.
signed.
So if somebody like Pusha T was in those rooms, Pusha T would probably be
He
the
was under
handler,
Hove at that
right? The
time, I
dope
think.
boy, the do boy, right? The store runner, right? Because Pusha T wasn't no megastar. Jay Z, I can understand Jay Z being in rooms with Epstein and Harvey Weinstein. Pusha T don't really fit in those rooms at all, bruh. That's like you seen Poetic Flacco in a room with Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. You will say, what is this dirtball doing in this room? I'm probably the handler in that regard. Okay, so this story makes sense, to be honest.
The handler.
Again, I'm not saying Pusha is guilty of anything. I'm just saying Pusha role being in that room makes sense. Okay, now it will continue and it will say among her handlers, she identified the artist Pusha T. In approximately 2007, she attended a party.
Now I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of what made me believe the situation because it's Jay Z and then it's Pusha T. Like, what the? How? Why is he in the situation? Like, that's what kind of make it believable. Like when you bringing up stuff with celebrities, you want to say somebody name that's famous, somebody name that can bring the whole thing down with them. Like, you'll say Jay Z and somebody else that's big. Like, but Jay Z and Pusha T. Like, why would she just say Pusha T out of anybody?
Following invitation from an unknown man who approached her as she walked down the street. Weinstein and Pusha T also attended the party and drugged her before engaging in abuse. So now Pusha T went from being just a handler to now Pusha T was also engaging in the abuse. Now, she claimed to have additional information of other persons involved in the enterprise and information related to the racketeering conducted in support of the trafficking. She further believed she was under surveillance and stalked at the direction of the people involved in the abuse. She confirmed she was not diagnosed with any mental illness. She refused to provide her physical address, advising that she maintained no permanent address. Rather, she moved between staying at different hotels. So this was somebody who was homeless, which I don't know if that gives more credibility or takes it away.
She was scared.
I'm not about to,
I mean,
like the men.
I mean, she can. It makes sense. Like if this really happened to you since you was, back in the day, '96, and now all of a sudden you grown, you got out of it, and they watching you, and yeah, that can have people scared to not be stable and have a stable house, a stable job, or a stable situation with these people having this type of power. So, or it could be the opposite. Maybe she's just down on her luck all these years and trying to cash in there. Who knows? Who knows?
Finish the abuse just because of somebody right now, probably in a position that's unfavorable. Right, a lot of people see a homeless woman making these allegations, and they'll probably say, crazy. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Now, what I would say, man, is Kanye West have been telling us for years that one of these dudes was on Epstein Island, that one of these dudes were involved with Epstein, but we just ain't been paying attention. This song wasn't dropped too long ago, right? On World War III version
Some
2,
niggas that went to that
Kanye
island.
West says, know some
Why the fuck would you
ninjas
go
that
to
went
that
to that
island?
island. Why the F would you go to that island? Now,
That's crazy. I know some niggas that went to that island. Why the fuck would you go to that island? Like, and Kanye come up with a hot bar. That's the most basic bar I ever heard Kanye come up with. So it gotta be real. If you ain't say why the fuck would you go to that island? And you be trying to go anywhere.
oh, Kanye West, has been around Pusha, has been around Jay-Z. They've been shooting for a little while now. One can probably only imagine that if he were to be talking about some dudes, he'll probably be talking about Pusha or Jay-Z. Man, listen, man. I'm just a messenger here, bro. Hey, Rock Nation. All right, don't hurt me, bro. All right, I'm just a YouTuber. I'm just reporting what I think could apply here. But we've been calling Kanye crazy for a while now, man. But the one thing we know is we didn't see allegations involving Kanye's name, man. Ain't that crazy? The one person we call
Kanye is the allegation. Kanye create his own allegation for you. Let y'all just make up some shit about him. Not Jesus. Not Jesus.
all crazy, we call a lunatic, we call bipolar, we say he belongs in a mental health institute. Somehow that person is the only person we don't see in these Epstein files. We don't see with nasty allegations towards
His crazy self ain't get the invite. They don't invite the crazy Kanye boy. No, he can't get on. No, we don't need him on the plane.
his name. Now, Jay-Z to me, and here's why I think it's cooked, okay? Even though the allegations are unsubstantiated, because these are just, tips coming through a hotline. Fortunately for Jay, the world already wants to believe these allegations. So there's nothing Jay can do to really convince people that he's not guilty. Man, as soon as Jay-Z hit that B, bro, hit that Billy, hit that billion, hip hop got really suspicious of Jay-Z. And also too, hip hop getting suspicious of Jay-Z is for good reasons. Like we seen how Jay Z operated with the NFL, bro. We seen how Jay Z sold out for a buck. So we've already been very suspicious of Jay Z, and Rock Nation right now is public enemy number one. And because people want to believe these rumors, they want to, believe this. They want this to be true. There's nothing Jay Z can do to convince the public it's not. Sorry, bro. All right. There's nothing. Jay Z.
So this whole cook. I mean, look. At the end of the day, whole time is came and went as far as music. All right. I think it's the same thing with business too. Like, I don't think you'll have too many people that want to get into his business with him. That's gonna wanna even do music with him nowadays. So I think money wise, no. Name wise, I think he kind of been cooked. Like he already got like tarnishment on his legacy with these allegations all of a sudden. When you look at other people from his time that was great, like Nas, the very cool rappers, Eminem, even 50, like these people they don't really got the type of allegations that Jay Z got, and I granted Granted, Jay got the money and that's what come with it, but I don't think people would be just making up this kind of stuff about Jay Z just because he got the money. Like that don't make sense to me. Let's look at the comments, see what the comments saying. Big Head Breach, chat files. Am I speaking facts and all? See if anybody flowing with me in the comment. So we get Jay Z and Pusha T before politicians, judges, and presidents. I mean, look, like at the end of the day, that's how it go. You know what I'm saying? Flacco sold out taking sponsorship deals. I know, right? I don't like that stuff at the beginning, Flacco. You got money is money, but not all money is money. You know what I mean? She got abducted 7 times. I said the same thing. Stupidest I ever. That's one thing I say about Jay Z stories too. It always got something stupid in the story. Like it makes sense. It's always a part about his story that don't make sense. This has Nicki Minaj written all over it. What does it got to do with Nicki? Jay Z is Cook tells me Jay Z will be just fine. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like when you say Jay Z Cook is like he's just gonna be in the same position he always been in. So I don't know, man. Get in my comments.